Ms. Zarin Malva, obtained her AMI 3 to 6 diploma and taught for many years in India, Canada, and the US. After 20 years of work with children behind her, she became an AMI 3 to 6 trainer and returned to Mumbai, her native city, and started her work with the training center in 1988 at the Jain Mahila Samaj Montessori Training Center. It was established in Mumbai with the help of Zarin Aunty as the director of training, and after 7 years of running the course there, in 1995, Ms. Malva was invited to run the AMI training course with the Ratan Tata Institute, which is where the course carries on to this day. Of course, she is the director of training at the RTI Montessori Training Center and contributes to not just work in Bombay, but across the country. So we are in conversation with her, and I will hand over the mic to Ruku.
Good afternoon, and I don't think I could have, an interviewer could have a more reluctant interviewee if one, had tried to get this as a possibility. But it's we all know, most of us who have had an opportunity to speak to Zarin Aunty, know that it is in our conversations with her that we learnt the most. In random conversations while traveling by bus or standing on the staircase or standing in the corridors of the training institute, we've had deep and meaningful conversations with her. And I think that it's important to remember that that's where, sometimes the most precious knowledge is offered and offered so freely. So today, Zarin Aunty, I want to ask, when you started Montessori training in Mumbai, which was in 1988.
Training.
Yeah, when you started the training. What is it that you felt that you were really offering? And why do you feel that at that time that it was so necessary to start that course in Bombay?
I don't know. We started because when I asked for a training from AMI, a trainer from AMI, Mario was there then, and Mario said that we don't have trainers in India, so you better do the training yourself, which was, impossible to think of. I was only teaching in a classroom. So it was nice that he asked me, but, to think in those days, and there were hardly any trainers at that time. So I agreed, and then they sent me off to 3-4 places to take the training. And then once I finished, I think it was 1 year London, 1 year Los Angeles, and 1 year. And that also was very interesting because I was supposed to go to US, but they didn't give me a visa. So at that time, Mario's wife was there. What was it? Ada was there. So Ada said, no, you can't go to the US. Now you'll have to go to England. So I said, now it's England. So then I was with Mrs. Patel. So that was a great journey also. Because after that, Mrs. Patel was so precious coming here and helping us a lot. And what struck me the most was, I was always going to US every year. And when the aircraft would stop in London, for, that halt you get in 3-4 hours or something. So I would sit in one of the lobbies or someplace and call up Mrs. Patel and say, this is a problem, that is a problem, how do I solve it? Those things strike me more, But anyway, then I became a trainer, and then I asked them to let me go to Mr. Swami, because Mr. Swami is running the Indian course there. Mr. Yaston had just passed away, and he got the course. So then I went to Calcutta to do the course too. So 4 years went in that. And of course, after that, when they told me to start the training, materials. So the materials, I think, were gifted to me, by Mrs. Manasinska, who was running the material thing, or somebody gave them to me. And then I started the course in Jain Samaj. Now, the lady in Jain Samaj was trained by Dr. Montessori. That was quite eye-opener. And she was a giant, I don't mean to be mean or something, but she was a giant lady. And I said, without the materials, I can't run a class there. I was also having a class there for the poor children of the streets. So she let me open a school there also for the poor children of the Marine Line Station area. And then we used to go and fetch the children, give them a bath and things so that we could get them in the classroom. So that was interesting. And then I was working there too. And then after that, I started the training there. So 10 years I was there in the Jain Samaj. And because it's a Samaj, and as I said, this lady was, I think, one of the ladies of Sarabhai's relatives. And she said she would give me money for the material for the school also. And then I also got material for the course. So slowly, we started with the course. And then, of course, my first batch, I just met a girl today who had, one of the mothers, this girl came to me and said, my mother did the first course with you, so that was nice. And then I have another student of the first year whose daughter-in-law is doing the course now. The daughter has done the course. The mother was also trained by Dr. Montessori. And now, there's so many, the whole generation, 3-4 generations are there. So that has been a nice thing. So some things like those, as I tell you, I don't remember much of it. But these are the things that strike me now, that kind of journey was good for me. And the other thing that I felt was good for my journey was going to when I went to the US, I always used to tell them, let me come as examiner after I became a trainer. So the different courses I visited, the different people, all the trainers, that was great for me because, you learn so much, you find out so much. And of course, behind all this is the child. And I always say, we are not working, we are enjoying our work with the child. So my whole thing is just look at the child and follow him or her. Now enough? Not enough.
Zarin, there are many trainers here who have worked with you. What would be your advice to trainers? And what do you think are you keep saying that your point of view is very different from the trainers now. So I want to understand, what is it that you would tell us? What is it that you would ask us to focus on today, which you feel is the most important ideas that we should pass on now? Because they say, everyone keeps saying we live in an age of social media. We live in an age when things are changing. So what would be your, what has been your, what would you say is different now about training? What is it different? What do you feel we need to focus on?
No, when Nilima just spoke, that was exactly what we were saying when she started. She was in the second course of mine. So it's the same. There's nothing different, is it? It's just that we are helping the child through the work we've learned. And the work, I think, is just helping and seeing the child in his true way, in the best way we can. Because every child is so important for us, isn't it? And I don't know, I don't think anything is different in any way. And every person contributes so well, no? So many trainers now, I'm so happy for that. And there's so much good coming about. So I don't think that is advice I can give her. I would never like to think I'm giving advice because I give the worst advice ever, right? But I think we have come a long way, so I'm happy about that. And I think the more we work with the child and see the child, and the more we work with the parents to help them to help their child. So I just start conversations with parents wherever I am, and I feel that is what will help us the most. Because it's the parents who will help us. And if we meet them halfway and listen, and even listen to our trainers, I think we learn a lot more. I learn a lot more. Now Sunita is sharing the course with me. 3/4 of the time we are arguing. So to me, it's never been like, and all we are all doing is just passing on the work of Montessori. I'll never forget Miss Stevenson saying the same thing. We are not here to say what we do or I do or what it is it? It's all the work that we've learned. We've been with the child. We see the child. We learn from the child. And that is all we are doing. We're just passing on her work. It's not, us. It's not me. It's not anybody who is a trainer. It's what the visions we got from her is all, and seeing her life, we can tell how she came on the journey. And that part, I think, is very essential to pass on, that, you know, how she came through her journey. And as a child, it seems she herself said, right, at 9 years, she stood up and said, I have a lot of work to do. And I think we should just pass on the work, because what we've learned is so precious. And it's so important to pass it on to parents. And anywhere and everywhere, I can give you episodes. I had met, this is the latest episode of mine, I tell people is, I had met a couple at a time when I was waiting for my bags at the airport. And they were also waiting at the airport. Some of you have heard this story, I'm sure. And the child was there. And she was, where the belt goes round. And you feel so scared the child will go there. The parents were scared. So I said, no, don't worry. She knows how far she can go. So they were looking at me, very young child, nearing 2.5 or something. And I gave them a long spiel, the usual. You tell them what you should do with the child. And it took long for the bags to come. So I went on and on for about, as usual, for 20 minutes to half an hour. And then that was fine. I didn't know who they were, nothing. A few years ago, this was a long time ago, and a few years ago, they called up somebody who knows me, and they said they were asking for me. I don't know who it was. They were asking for me and said to that lady, we don't know who that was either, but she told me that they said that we did everything what you had told us to do. My God, I said, that I think I felt that, good, because good in the sense you feel so happy that, you're helping. That I think is the most important thing, helping. And of course now we see the students like that. To me, it's always argument that the student is exactly like a child. And Mrs. Patel had told me when we first started, when we first start our courses, we always say, how can we help adults? We are so used to children. I'm sure all of us have said that. But then I realized, she said, no, they are exactly like your children. There's no difference. You have to just help them the way you help children. And today also I feel it's the same way, isn't it? You just see the needs of the person. And now I say it's not only children. It's everyone you are with, any person you're with. Exactly like that. If you listen, if you find out, if you know, then you can help in the best way you can. And maybe it's wrong also. It cannot be right always, can it? Whatever help you give them. So you tell them that too. But at least try to help and do the best you can. That's what I've learned. And I feel that is what, we want all trainers to know. That I think that's what we are doing, isn't it? All of us are trying our best for that. I don't say anything different. So I never answer the questions, as you know. But I always feel something will spark up in me with the question. So I just speak, right? Sorry.
I have one last question.
Thank goodness.
Of all the work that you've done, you see it, I know that you see it all as one whole. You don't really parcel out the various aspects of your life. But if there are a couple of things you feel should continue now in Montessori, should not be lost, what are the few things that you would say must be passed on to adults, to people?
Work. Just Montessori's work, and just live it, because I think it's living it that is very essential, isn't it? Seeing the other person's point of view, seeing the child as he is, and seeing the needs of any person or any child, and trying to help the best way you can, because as Montessori always says, there are no answers. Mother Isabel used to say that too. There are no answers. She would only say, darling, use your common sense. And that stuck with me always. Because, it's the best you can do at that time. And every difficulty is going to be a challenge. So as you go along, you see the best, and you try to do the best. And as I keep saying, you need not be right. And this humility should come. As we say, as we talk about the directress, I think that's the most important part. If the humility is there, if the understanding is there, if you're willing to listen, if you're willing to help, then it will come. And the Horme will help. I believe in the Horme still, and I go by my Horme still. So I don't think I don't think I've changed in that. You know, it is so important to understand that it is there. It's only you who has to bring it out. And we always think of others, you know, how others can help. But it's you who have to be within you, coming forth and helping you. And the best you can do, you can never be perfect. It has to be just striving. As we say for the child, strive for perfection. He's striving, and we have to strive. It will never happen 100%. Nothing is 100%, is it? And recently, I go to my religious lecture still, and it is very interesting. I don't know if I should share it with you. But the same thing Zarathustra had said thousands of years ago, and when we was listening to the translation of one of the prayers, I was listening to the priest, he was saying the exact same things we say in Montessori. You know, listen to your inner being, just like the child would. And if you let the child listen to his inner being and you listen to your inner being, it will work. That's how I look at it now. So I just feel, you know, that is, because I mean, who am I to tell people, or, I mean, I can't see that. I really can't. It's we ourselves who have to better ourselves. And as we say, our courses are for that. And that's why she held the courses, didn't she? And she kept on saying that you have to help them to learn. And Mr. Swami used to say that all the time. This course is just to better yourself. That's why you're here. It's no course, it's no education. I mean, all this about education and all this. It's just living life, isn't it? Just living life to the fullest and best way you can. So it's just one thing, just following. You call, some people say spiritual path, and as you know, I'm not at all spiritual in that sense. But I feel it's all there within you. It's there, it's there. I believe in it implicitly. And I think that has what been my journey. I feel I'm being very happy. And I'm glad it's the last question. I mean, there's nothing new to say. I hate to say that I can tell people anything, you know, what to do, how to live life. I think that doesn't work, that doesn't help in the long run, right? Thank you.
Thank you, Zarin. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.